our panel. We have Kaleb Xiong. We have Josh, who's going to be my co-host today. We have Cadence Xiong. And we have Ryas Vang right here. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing?
I'm good.
Good? All right. Good. Let's start off by you guys introducing yourself a little bit. You know, just what sport you play, what school you go to, what year you're in, and all that kind of stuff. All right. Caleb, can we start with you? And then we'll go with Cadence, and then we'll go with Ryas.
Yeah, I'm Caleb. I just turned 17 a few weeks ago. I go to Appleton East High School and I play volleyball and basketball.
My name is Cadence Xiong. I'm a junior at West Bend East High School. I play basketball for high school and also club. For club, I play for Chapman Basketball Academy.
My name is Ryas Vang. I graduated from Clovis West High School. I'm 18 and I'm a freshman at Fresno Pacific where I play basketball.
Okay. That's very good, man. So we're going to get right into it, man. You guys ready? So, well, first of all, I want to welcome all you guys to our program. I also want to welcome our student athletes. I know that you guys are very busy with school, with life, with all that in general. So I want to, before we get started, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out, coming on here and sharing your story with us. Okay. Let me get this question up right here, man. Hold on, dude. My internet is slow, man. I got to dial up, dude. All right. So you guys introduce yourself. Let's start with this. Ryas, I want to ask you, talk about how you got involved in sports in the first place. And what age was it? I know your dad is right there. Your dad he's basically like a Hall of Fame player as well in Hmong volleyball. How did you get started with all this?
Yeah, so the funny thing is, growing up, I really wasn't into sports. Like, I remember growing up, I was all into video games. I would stay up all night, play video games as much as I could. And I would obviously go to all my dad's volleyball tournaments. So that's where I kind of learned about volleyball, learned about like just sports in general. And he kind of pushed me to play basketball. And from that point, since third grade, I've been playing basketball since. So yeah.
Oh shoot, third grade. So that's like what is it? 8, 9 years old around there?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so you've been balling for like what? You're like 18 now for like 10 years then.
Yeah. I didn't take it too seriously though until like middle school, sixth grade. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, let me ask you this: were you always like a natural once you picked up the ball? Were you like doing your thing, or how was that growing pain going, man?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a natural. You know, wasn't the most athletic. I wasn't the fastest or even the smartest player, but I worked pretty hard to get to where I am. So just gotta keep working.
Oh, for sure, man. And then Cadence, yourself, man, we saw some of the videos. Shoot, what can I say, man? You're a beast out there. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in sports. Did your dad put you into it? Your mom push you into it? How did that start?
So when I was little, both my parents, they always encouraged me and my siblings to play sports. So I actually ended up playing flag football, softball, and rugby, and basketball. But I didn't really like all the sports as much as basketball, so I really just stuck with basketball. So they always pushed me at basketball.
Okay. Why do you think, well, I want to ask is, why do you think your parents push you into sports, or you guys into sports so much? Why do you think that?
We're like a sports family. We really like to watch sports. We like to get together and play sports and watch basketball, football, baseball. So I think they really just wanted us to get out.
Okay. All right. And then Caleb, tell us about the time when you started playing sports.
I started at like 5 years old. Like my dad had me play a bunch of sports. Like I played like basketball, football, soccer, baseball. And then around like middle school, I kind of just cut off all the other sports and then focused on basketball. And then in high school, he wanted me to go for volleyball, and then we started working on that. That's how I'm playing those two today.
Well, I know that sports take up so much of your time. I'm just wondering how you guys could balance all of that? You know what I mean? Like, I know that when you play at a high level, I know you got to balance sports, your life, and all that kind of stuff. So, Ryas, I mean, you've been doing it for years. You're probably the oldest one on this panel, right? Between all these athletes right here, man. How did you manage to balance all of that? Were you working too at all during all this time? Were you doing all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. When you're playing a sport, you for sure have to sacrifice a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
I remember growing up too, I sacrificed like a lot of time with my family,
Yeah.
and they would always tease me about it, like, "Oh, so ball is life. You're choosing basketball over us." But
Yeah.
you really have to sacrifice like something you love to if you really want to be good, I guess.
Yeah.
Like over the weekends, I couldn't hang out with friends. I would have to do homework or travel for a tournament, or I'd have to stay up late to do homework and sacrifice sleep. Like there's just a lot of things to sacrifice when
Yeah.
you're trying to balance sports and life and everything else.
Yeah. And then Cadence, right? Isn't that true? Where you have to, would you echo what Ryas just mentioned right there? Where you, as an athlete, you didn't have a typical teenage life where you go out and hang out and all that kind of stuff. All those were substituted by you trying to perfect your craft. Would you say that similar to what you went through?
Yeah, I agree with it because you have school and after school you have practice and then you have homework. You don't really have enough time to hang out with friends and do what you want to do. You gotta sacrifice those things to get better at your game.
Yeah. What about you, Caleb? I know that you're I actually have a first hand with Caleb because he's my nephew. Speak a little bit on that, Caleb.
Well, like for me personally, like hanging out with my friends wasn't like that big of a thing for me. Like I kind of like to do stuff on my own anyways. So like going to practice stuff was always nice, and like hanging out with friends wasn't always my first priority. So
right. Wouldn't you say like a lot of the friends that you made were on the team anyway? So it was like, okay, I'm just hanging with my friends on the team anyways, right? Wouldn't you say that, Ryas?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You build like so many relationships with like coaches or teammates or like the family of the teammates. Like you build so many relationships through the sport you play, and it just like all interconnects, and you meet a lot of new people through sports.
Yeah. Cadence, would you echo that most of your friends eventually were just like your teammates, right? Because you guys have all these things in common.
Yeah, because you're pretty much seeing them every day. You have practice together, you ride the bus together, the games and stuff. So they're pretty much like your best friends and your family.
Yeah. And then Caleb, did you have an opinion on that?
yeah, it'd be about the same, except like they'd always like want to go like do some other stuff like outside of sports, and I just like didn't really like to like go do stuff. So I just kind of just do my own thing, practice.
Okay. We're gonna go off topic a little bit. I've been meaning to ask this. Okay, so I know that with anything that you want, like you have to be good at something. I know it takes a lot of discipline. How did you guys learn to be so disciplined at such a young age? Because I see Caleb here firsthand, and when I go over to him and his dads and his moms and them, and like he's always working out, he's always like on a schedule. How are you guys so disciplined at such a young age? Where did it start? Caleb, can you shine a light on that a little bit? Like how do you stay so disciplined? Like you looking at the end goal and like this is what I'm working towards, or what is it?
Or like what motivates you guys to work so hard to choose basketball or volleyball over hanging out, having fun with your friends? So what's that motivation?
Yeah, well, from a young age, my dad really like beat that into me, how I've got to put in a lot of time and I've got to like not cut corners and make sure everything was like the best it can be without trying to take a shortcut.
Yeah. And then Cadence, what about you? How do you stay so disciplined? Was it like what Caleb mentioned where his dad beat it into him, or was it just built in you?
Yeah, I think that I just had a lot of love for the game, so I just wanted to work at it and get better at it.
Okay. Just for the record, Pheng did not beat Caleb. Okay. It's a metaphor. He literally like told his ass every single day. But Ryas, can you speak a little bit on that? How did you develop that discipline? Did your dad like had to tell you every single day, or was it just self-driven?
When I started playing sports, I kind of knew I wasn't the best, so I was kind of real with myself.
Yeah.
And I knew since I wasn't the best, I had to work. So that kind of helped me build a own schedule to try to make me improve like each and every day. But I also think it has a lot to do with like your idols, Like for example, my dad's obviously an idol, but like another person like Kobe Bryant, he works so hard and he has that, Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to shape your work ethic towards like somebody like him. So that kind of taught me how to build a schedule and stay disciplined and stuff like that too.
So talk about mama mentality, man. Was there ever like a time you were working out, right? You're like, man, I'm so tired, but you thought to yourself like, what would Kobe do? Okay, Kobe would not like. Did you ever have any of those moments?
I mean, yeah, but Kobe's on a different level. He's a whole different monster.
Right.
Yeah.
Cadence, do you look up to Kobe as well too?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Did you ever have any one of those Kobe moments where you're just so bogged down, like, okay, Kobe wouldn't do that right now. I gotta get up and do my thing.
Yeah, I just gotta push through it though.
For sure, man. Caleb?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad always liked Kobe, and then so he taught me how to be like that. Yeah. So like
Oh, for sure, man. I know that this generation's, your guys' era, it's Kobe. You know what I mean? Kobe's the man. All right. Let's go with the next question right here. Let's see. Let me look at it. Okay. So speak on the cons of being a student athlete. How has it disturbed friendship, work, academics in general? I know that we just talked about it a few minutes ago, juggling all those things. What are some of the struggles? Let's go with Caleb. What are some of the struggles?
Some of the struggles for me have been like coming home from a game late and having to do homework after and staying up late for homework and then having to go to school the next day and like in days when I have work too. So it's like it really just like extends like your day schedule.
Yeah. And then Cadence, what are some of your struggles going through the motions?
I think I agree with Caleb. Coming home after games and stuff with homework, you really don't have enough time you really don't get a lot of sleep because you're after a game, you're tired, you're exhausted, and you gotta finish your homework and you have school the next day, and then it's just like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. And then Ryas, can you speak on that?
Yeah, so I kind of agree with what both of them said, especially like if you have a morning practice, but you get done with practice late, you kind of have to stay up and do your homework. Like you're not just gonna skip out on homework, so you really gotta sacrifice sleep sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm guessing your parents probably warned you guys or told you guys about this. If we're gonna do this, you guys gotta do school too, right? I'm pretty sure they got that speech with you guys, like, okay, basketball, okay, cool, but you gotta take care of school too. Tell me a little bit about those talk with your parents, man. Ryas?
Yeah, so both of my parents were really on me about my grades. I really never slipped up, but it's kind of because I also knew to get to the next level, it makes it so much easier if you have really good grades. And that's what kind of boosted my efforts to do my homework and stay on top of that stuff. And I really didn't like getting in trouble by teachers, so that's why.
Okay. Cadence, can you speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, school is really important to me, and getting to the next level, you have to have good grades in order to play. And so I stay on top of my homework and stuff to be able to play and be eligible to play in high school.
What about you, Caleb?
Yeah, well, my mom really like wants me to do good in school, and school always like came easy for me, so it was like kind of easy doing it in the beginning. And then once I got to high school though, and I had to be put in like advanced classes, that's when like I really needed to like start studying more and doing a lot more for school. But the first like few years of school, like elementary through middle school, was easy, like where I'd get good grades and I wouldn't have to like try.
Right.
But then come high school where they move you up in like for how smart you are, that's when I really had to like step it up and work at it.
Yeah. Well, I gotta really commend you guys, all three of you guys, for being like model students. On top of that, spending most of your time being an athlete as well too, because I know that once season comes around, it's like nonstop. And I know that you guys probably play sports year round, right? Like even without high school, you guys are playing either AAU, club ball, whatever they call it. You guys are playing year round, anyways, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Do you guys ever get fatigued? I'm just saying, like, if I'm going through sports year round, do you guys ever get like sick of the game? I'm just like, look, dude, I don't want to touch anything today. I'm done. Like, you guys ever feel like quitting? Like, just getting. I know that you guys are of age, and your dad and your mom is probably getting at you. And you ever wanted to tell them like, I quit? Ryas, you ever felt like that before?
I mean, funny story. There's been times, 6:30 morning practice. I wake up, I'm like, man, is this practice really worth going to? But at the end of the day, like I still went.
Yeah.
And like you just kind of got to do it because it's a part of your schedule. And if you really want to like be successful at it, you just have to go. So.
What about you, Cadence? Ever feel like tapping out at any point?
Yeah, there's been a couple times, but I just know that I have to push through it if I really want to play at the college level, and yeah.
What about you, Caleb? Ever want to tap out?
Well, for me, it's so since I played two different sports, it's like one sport like hits a certain thresh, then I have practice for another sport which like relieves the other one. So it's like a balancing thing. So I think playing both volleyball and basketball like balances everything out for me. It's like when I do too much of like volleyball, then I go to basketball and then it lowers the volleyball, and then once the basketball gets too high, and then I go to volleyball. I think it's really like what keeps me like interested in both the sports. Makes me have fun in both of them.
Okay. Well, I want to ask this. This is not on the schedule or the question or anything, but can you guys give me a rundown of your typical day when you're training, working out, school, and all that kind of stuff? Because I know a little bit about Caleb. He gets up before like even the sun comes up. Like he's up and going, and they're like at the Y doing their thing. This is even before school, and then he goes to school, and then he does his thing as well too. Can you guys give us a little rundown of your typical day when you're practicing, and then you got class and all this kind of stuff? Let's start with Ryas. Can you give us a typical day of your training and then your school schedule and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. So in high school, we had morning practices, and ever since I graduated from high school, it's kind of been sticking with me. Like I still kind of like to work out in the mornings. So I wake up 6:30, 7, start my workout, either a lift or a basketball, or sometimes both if I want to like do a short of each one. And after that, since I'm in college, I kind of get to pick out my schedule. So I start class at 9. So eat breakfast, go to class, finish around 12 to 1. The latest is Monday. I finish at 4. And then typically, since there's other sports going on like girls volleyball, girls basketball, we have to share the gym. So we kind of practice later at night. So I try to get my homework done before and after practice. And that kind of just wraps up my day.
Wow. See, there's a lot of preparing right there. There's a lot of prepping, man. Cadence, tell us a little about your schedule. How does that run?
So in the summer, we actually had workouts in the morning. So I'd go to them in the morning around 8:30. And then for school, we don't really have morning workouts, but sometimes I'll hit the Y and then go to school. And then afterwards, you have practice.
Okay. Now, Cadence, when you say you're going to work out, are you doing this all by yourself, or are you doing it with your dad, the team, or?
It's sometimes by myself and with my dad as well.
Oh, really? Man. Okay. So you mean you just go to the gym, put on your AirPods, and you're just like in your zone or something, or what?
Yeah, or I'm like lifting weights and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. What do you jam to? Anyways, what do you listen to when you're like in your zone?
I listen to hip hop, R&B.
Okay. What about you, Ryas? What are you jamming to when you're like in your zone, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, but sometimes when I'm just chilling, getting the good lifting. I put on the old school R&B music.
Okay, well, drop the names, artists, man. What are some of the artists, man? Let's see, you guys are legit or not.
So some Alicia Keys, maybe some Mario,
Oh shit!
stuff like that. Just like
Oh, for real? That you're old
yeah,
school like that?
yeah. Just like gets me. I don't know. It just makes me like, okay, I'm gonna hit the set or something like that.
Okay.
Or like when I'm just yeah. Go ahead.
I was just wondering how you developed that taste, man. Did your dad jam to that stuff or what?
I have no clue.
Okay,
Honestly.
man.
Like
Okay,
it just
I
kind of
like
sticks.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Cadence? What are you jamming to?
And I was just thinking about Drake or something like that. What did I?
I like Drake too. I haven't heard his new stuff. Certified Lover Boy. I haven't heard that, but I like Drake. What about you, Caleb? Take us through your drill and then talk about what you're listening to too, man. Let me see.
Okay, well, summer and school year are different. So in the summer, I'm usually up at like 4:15, and then I stretch and get ready, and then I go to the Y at 5, get done around like 6:37, and then in the summer we have workouts at like 9, and then 9, 8 to like it's like 8 to 9:30 workouts at school. And then for like a month or two there in the summer, we have basketball at like 12. And then sometimes we have volleyball at 3. Then I come home and then like eat some stuff and then do a workout after. And then I like go to bed at like 9:30 or 10.
Man, by 9:30, you're like exhausted, right?
Yeah. And then during the school year, the morning stays the same, except I got school at 8 to like 3:40, and then from 4 to 5:30 I have practice. Then I gotta come home and then eat, and then have some family time, and then do my homework and chores and all that, and then go to bed at like 8:39.
And then when you're working out and stuff, are you going by yourself or are you going with your pops or your mom or what's up? What's up with that?
Well, recently I've been going by myself. Like my dad used to like come with me and like run me through drills, but like now that I'm older, I'm like kind of got it on my own, so I know what to do already.
Okay. So what are you listening to, man? Are you listening to any music while you're doing this or what?
Like not really. Like
okay.
I just kind of just work at it.
Okay, so you're just thinking to yourself at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like music usually like doesn't like especially when I'm playing like basketball, like it really doesn't like help me like concentrate on what I need to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like throws me off.
Yeah. You know what I noticed theme is you guys are like self-driven, and I think people misconstrue success as like, oh, they're talented, they're gonna be successful, but it takes work and grind. Just kind of what I heard. Just for the people who are listening, these young folks right here, just mentioning their schedule. They're starting at 4:15, practicing. They're filling their days in, and there's like barely any rest in between. So this is how you become great. It's not overnight. And you guys probably, they documented Kobe's career, and you guys know about Kobe Bryant. He's talking about getting up at 4, practicing before everyone's practicing. There's like no gap in between at all. And you guys are living the life. And that's why I feel that you guys are so successful at whatever you do. And I feel like that's like the formula to be successful. Just putting in the work, right? So, and do you guys ever get discouraged at all when like you put in so much work and you don't see the results and you just feel like, gosh, what am I doing wrong? Do you guys ever feel like that at all, Ryas?
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially if you put in the amount of hours that probably all 3 of us do, and you perform bad in the game or you have a bad practice, you get kind of frustrated with yourself. But at the end of the day, I think you just got to trust your work, like trust in what you've done, trust in the drills you've done, and all of it will pay off at the end. I kind of, especially from the high school to college jump, I kind of had to restart in a sense where like I'm working from the bottom to all the way to try to get to the top again. So I wouldn't say I necessarily get discouraged, but I for sure know like I gotta work a little harder or stay on top of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna ask you that, and thank you for hitting that point. What's the difference right now between playing high school ball and now this is college? What have you noticed, like, the differences?
Yeah, for sure. In high school, there's 5 people on the court, 10 people total, or 5 people on your team, 10 people total. And in high school, there's kind of like weak links around on the court.
Right.
You could go at one guy, or you could go at even 2 guys sometimes. But in college, like, there's not a certain weak link at all, and everyone's kind of more athletic. Everyone's kind of longer, more skilled. Everyone's serious about their craft too, and they take it like serious on the court, in the weight room, in the studies. So I would say that college is a lot more serious, but at the same time a lot more fun because you're around people who have the same like mindset as you.
Right. Man, that's great perspective, and that's what we want. So yeah, you're right, because those college kids, once you get to a certain level, everyone could ball out. It's not like, like you were saying, in high school, like some of the kids are just playing basketball as like, because it's the off season for maybe baseball or like a football, whatever, and they're just kind of picking up the sport. But in college, when you're at that sport, everyone's playing that. They're there for a reason, So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cadence, the amount of hours you spend in the gym working on your craft, do you dedicate that amount of hours inside the classroom as well too, or has education or has academics come like more naturally for you, like kind of what Kaleb said as well too?
I think it's come a little natural to me. I think like both sports and school is really important to me, and that I need both of them in my life. So I'm able to put the work in both.
What about you, Kaleb? You spend a lot of hours working on your craft on your game. Do you spend the same hours inside the classroom as well too?
Oh no, I spend a lot more like on practice and my game and all that. Like for school, like the only like challenging part of school really like right now is like my math class.
Yeah.
Like everything else comes more natural. So it's like it's pretty like good right now.
What are you taking for math? Are you taking like calculus or?
I'm taking Calc BC.
Okay. Well, shoot. I mean, that is challenging, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go with let's go with this one. Speak on the pros, the good stuff, on being a student athlete, how it helped you develop your friendship, your work ethic, discipline, academics. Speak on that. How has sports helped you in general in life? Let's go with Cadence.
I think it's taught me to be a better person in general. Like it helps me with different skills, like leadership skills and communication skills. It's also helped me meet a lot of different people from other teams and other sports that we play too. And another pro is that you get to compete in a sport that you love to play too.
And then Kate, I see some of your videos. I think, does your dad do all your highlights and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Who's that kid in those videos always yelling, ankle breaker? Who's that?
Oh, that's actually my little brother. He went with us to that tournament.
Okay, I saw. Well, we posted up a video. We're like, he's always there was a kid always like, oh man, see, he's a big fan of you.
Yeah, he's number one fan for sure.
What about you, Ryas? What are some of the good things that came out of sports?
Yeah, I could kind of back on what Cadence said. Like personally, I've built so many good relationships with people, from teammates and coaches, or people I just met through basketball. And like, I know that I'll always have those guys in my back corner, or like I'll always be in their corner, just because we played basketball together and we've put all the hours in together, or we've cried together, we've won together, stuff like that. So I think that's personally one of the biggest takeaways. And also like the life lessons you learn, like Cadence was saying, leadership skills, how to work hard, how to be disciplined, how to build a schedule, just to be passionate about something. Like all those things are even applicable to like a job or something you want to pursue in the future. So I think that's good.
Great point. Caleb, can you shine no light on that? What has sports given you?
Well, yeah, I agree with both of these. What they said, how it makes you like have like another family, like with your teammates. But for me, I think the biggest pro is just seeing other people out there and how good other people are, like how amazing other people can be, and like the different level of competition out there.
It just why is that? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, because that like I recently went to a volleyball camp at Carthage, which was like a D3. They took like they won the D3 championship for volleyball.
Yeah.
And going there, I saw so many like really good players that can jump like crazy and hit it really hard. And for me, I was like, dang, like that is like I need to be able to get there, like just be able to get to that level and be just as good as like as like a setter, as a hitter, everything. Just I gotta like up my game. Like
that's just like a different level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, man, I think the overall theme is you gotta it's very hard. Do you guys, well, let me ask this. Do you feel, I know for a fact that your parents support you in whatever you do, but do you feel like that's, even if your parents didn't support you that much, do you feel like you guys would have gotten this far? Or do you think that your parents' support really, really helped you? Caleb, can you speak on that? Like,
yeah, I think my parents' support helped a lot. Like I think I would be able to like play ball, but I don't think I'd be at this level without them. Because they pushed me and taught me so many lessons along the way, being an athlete and as a person too.
What about you, Cadence? The support of your parents, is that very important for you?
Yeah, it's really important to me. They threw me into AAU when I was like in 5th grade, so they've been helping me with traveling, and hotel expenses and everything. So I wouldn't be where I am without them.
What about you, Ryas? Talk about the support of your parents.
Yeah, I think when you're trying to balance out a crazy schedule, mental health is so important. And just to have people to fall back on who love you unconditionally is so important to like staying mentally healthy. So my parents like helped me for sure. When like, for example, you have a bad game, you don't want to go talk to your coach. Your coach isn't going to be happy. You go straight to your parents, you know?
Yeah.
So they've helped me a lot throughout this journey.
And you know what? That's something that sports present to athletes. Like there's so much failure in sports, because just think about this, going like shooting, right? If you're 5 out of 10 and you fail 5 times, that's considered like Hall of Fame right there. You know what I mean? Because you're always failing and coming back, bouncing back. You got to bounce back from game to game, from shot to shot. It's just crazy. Like, how are you guys staying mentally sharp? I know physically you're working out and stuff like that. Tell us what you're doing mentally to prepare yourself each and every single play. Can you guys speak a little bit on that? Cadence, can you speak a little bit on your mental game?
I think you just gotta think about you always gotta think about the next play and don't let the misses get to your head.
Okay. Caleb?
Yeah, well, I can speak like more on that. Like, so there was like a time where I just could not shoot at all. And like, but I like worked on it, like me and my dad worked on it hard for like a summer and like a bit into the fall. And like now, like I don't want to brag on it, but like I can shoot like pretty good now. And like it just comes with confidence, like knowing that you can do it in practice. Come game time, it's like just repetition. Then it's just easy for you.
Yeah. What about you, Ryas? Mentally, what's up? What are you doing, man?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Caleb. Like you drilling something so hard that it just becomes second nature to you. And I remember growing up, I wasn't the best, and I would get frustrated at times, but people would just remind me that you just got to keep getting better at stuff, and you're not gonna be perfect after doing it for one day. And I also like watching a lot of film, because I think if you see stuff from different perspectives, it just opens up your knowledge so much more. Like you watch film, I watch film of like past practices or like game film, obviously stuff like that just helps your knowledge of the game a lot more. And like other teams, like in the NBA or even college.
Yeah, I know that mental thing, the mentality is so big. I see a player like, you guys saw the finals with Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally Giannis, like, he sucks at free throw, but for whatever reason, like, he never let it like phase him. And then the clinching game, he nailed like 17 out of 18. Man, that's like that man right there. He's so mentally strong. He doesn't let anything phase him. He just does his thing. And I think in order to be successful in sports, you gotta, or not even sports, in anything in life, you gotta have that mentality where, like you guys mentioned, and Cadence and you guys mentioned, like, okay, I'm not gonna let it phase me. Next play, I'm done. You know, so the bounce back is so important, man. Like, that's so underrated. And I think sports kind of teaches us to like bounce back from each failure. What are we gonna do next? What can we do different? So I really commend you guys for that. Let's go to the board right here real quick, see what people are saying, and then we'll come back to the questions. All right.
All right.
All right. Let's see. People just giving shout outs. Caleb, my brother from Conchang. Yo, Caleb. Okay. When you're a coach, you force your sons to play sports at Ryas Vang. So, Ryas, did your dad force you to play sports, or did you always like sports anyways?
Nah, he for sure forced me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was the same with me. But like, once they force you into it and then you start playing, then you develop like a love for the game, like eventually.
Okay. What about you, Katie? Is that your parents kind of force you? You know, they sign you up. Did you like it, or did they kind of force you?
I wanted to try out for every sport that I wanted to play. They didn't really have to force me. I kind of just wanted to go out and see what I was good at and what I wasn't good at.
Okay. We got some encouraging stuff here. It says, Caleb is dad driven. Caleb, are you dad driven or are you self driven?
In the beginning, I was dad driven, but now, like for the past like 3 years, I'm self driven. Okay. Like now, I got it like into me now. Like
okay. So yeah, a lot of the time you got to kind of understand the whole scheme of things. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do these little steps in order to get to that big step. And a lot of the time, the kids, they kind of like, oh, I don't want to do these little steps. You know what I mean? Like the workouts, the preparation. They just want to go and ball out. You know. Keep it up, youngins. Tony said, Ryas. All right. She'll say, there's a question here. Would you have pushed yourself this far if your parents weren't supportive? Or we touched base on that already. And then Mark says, Ryas. Chua said, one-on-one, who wins, you or your okay. All right, let's do this. Ryas, who's gonna win? You or your dad? Basketball, man.
I think you'd have to ask him that.
Well, he's gonna say he wins, I guess, but
he's trying to beat me, man. I can't beat him no more.
Okay, Cadence, who your dad goes out with you, right? He balls out with you. Can your dad ball?
He can ball, but I think I'd definitely beat him. I beat him a couple times.
Caleb, what's up? You and your dad. I know your dad's still in pretty good shape, man.
No, it's me, no question, dude. No question. Me, no question. That dude cannot guard me. He cannot guard me.
He can only guard you in the post because he got a big body.
That's it. He has a good post game, but he cannot guard me out on the perimeter.
Well, hey, can I ask you guys this, man? Okay, I just wanted your perspective, man. This is right off the top of your head. All you guys are basketball players. Give me your top 5 right now, man. Top 5 basketball, bro. Top 5. Caleb, you got a top 5? You should always have your top 5 in the back of your pocket, man. Like, pull it out.
Yeah.
Top 5.
My top 5, like, right now.
Yes. Or whenever. It could be Jordan or whoever. No, it could be top 5.
Top 5 right now. Top 5. Okay, no, I'll do it right now. The top 5 best basketball players in the NBA right now. I'm gonna have to say number 1 would probably be Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Number 2, probably Giannis. Then LeBron. Then Steph. And then I don't know who for number 5. Then probably like Luca.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's a good list. Not Steph or anything?
I said
No?
Steph. Steph's number 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. Cadence, who you got? Top 5.
So number 1's Giannis, probably. Giannis.
That's what I'm talking about.
LeBron, Curry, I'd say KD, and I don't know for my 5th. Maybe
Okay.
Kyrie, maybe around there. I'm not sure.
Okay. I like that list. Kyrie's nice. Ryas, who you got?
Since Caleb basically gave out my top 5 for I'll give out my like top 5 all time.
Okay.
I might like make people mad, but my number 1 for sure, Jordan. Like I never watched him personally, but from The Last Dance or just hearing about it or even like seeing the game film, like what he did and his mentality was just incredible. Number 2, close second, LeBron for sure. Yeah. He's just so naturally like talented and what he could do. He could pass at 6'8". He's like 260 or something. Like you're not gonna find another guy like that.
Oh yeah.
And then 3, probably be Kobe for sure.
Yeah. Kobe.
Yeah, and then 4, I might have to say like Kareem.
Kareem, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 5, I say Magic Johnson.
Magic.
Yeah.
See, this guy's a California kid right here, man. I think 3 out of the 5 are like Lakers, man.
Facts. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Okay. All right.
So I know you guys all looked up to Kobe, but besides Kobe, was there anyone else that you guys maybe like modeled your game after? Like when you're a kid, everyone wants to be, Kobe, Michael, LeBron. But as you get older, you kind of figure out things you're good at. So like, was there any player or maybe, a family member that you kind of modeled your game after? Caleb, you go first.
Yeah, like when I got older and started watching more NBA, I really liked Isaiah Thomas for being that short and to do what he's able to do, like drop 27 a game in the NBA at being like, they say he's like 5'10", but he's probably like 5'8". So that's
you talking about the Boston Celtics, Isaiah?
Yeah, that Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
And like leading his team to like the conference finals too. And the number 1 seed in the East with LeBron in there too. I really like that.
Yeah, I think being home, you kind of appreciate those guys like Isaiah and AI, how they're they're a lot smaller, but they can still dominate. So yeah. How about you, Cadence?
Mine's kind of like what Caleb said. Because since I'm short, I'm like 5 foot, so I really look up to them to see how they're playing and what they can do and how much they've accomplished with their height.
Sure.
Ryas?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably a Damian Lillard fanatic. Like I love that guy just because he's surreal and he don't say much, but he could get going whenever. Yeah. But I also I don't know why I love Jeremy Lin, like his story where he came from. Like I love Jeremy Lin for sure.
Yeah, he's very inspirational, man.
Yeah.
Just he's kind of like fighting just to get in the man. He deserves a spot in the league. I swear, I see some.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All the NBA players, I know they're good, but he's better than some of these players on the squad right now, man.
I feel like that's the same thing with like Cam Newton too, dude. Like what I'm seeing from Cam. Yeah. Like in football.
Bro, they need to put Cam at like tight end or something, dude. He's that talented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's talented. All right. Let's go to some of these questions right here. Okay. So tell me this. Okay. What does being among athletes, whether you accept it or not, you guys are Hmong. What does that mean to be a Hmong athlete to you guys? Do you guys carry that with you? Do you guys represent that, or do you guys even like notice that? If you don't, man, you guys better notice it now, because there's a whole bunch of kids who are trying to get to where you guys are at. So you guys are basically the role model, the standard. So what does it mean to be a Hmong athlete? Let's start with Ryas.
Yeah, that means like a lot to me because kind of like you said, it's not typical for Hmong people to be at a high level playing a sport, right?
Right.
So I think it kind of breaks the barrier of like, or the stigma that, oh, Asian people can't hoop or Asian people can't do this. And I hope that like people see this and realize that you could put anything you want like in front of you if you just work on it and you just keep like trying to get better at it. And honestly, like just being Hmong and having that stigma, it does like make me push myself to work even harder.
Yeah. Yeah, there is, and it's just not Hmong in general. It's like Asians in general. There's like a stigma to the Asian because, we can't ball, we can't, and we're not as big as other people. So they see the Asian person walking onto the court. I bet you that if they pick teams, right, like back in the day, like they're always the last one to be picked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, Cadence, can you share a little insight on that? What does it mean for you to be a Hmong student athlete?
I agree with what Ryas said. It does mean a lot to me. When I go out to tournaments and stuff, I don't really see a lot of Asian or Hmong athletes out there playing basketball. So I really want to help inspire others to play what sport they want to play.
Caleb, can you shed a little light on that? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I agree with both of them. Is like I try to like teach the younger ones that you got to take this serious. Like if you really want to be good, you have to take it seriously and put in the work. Because like when I try to have like some of my friends try to play or whatever, they really don't take it seriously, and they just want to be good to be good. Like they don't want to put in the work that is required.
Well, I mean, dude, I am so proud that there's so many Hmong student athletes out there, and I know we got 3 out of probably like thousands, because there's thousands and thousands of Hmong athletes competing out there, and I'm just so proud that you guys are out there representing, because this is what our channel is about. We promote and highlight and spotlight a lot of our students, athletes, a lot of our athletes in general, a lot of your parents. I know Caleb's dad and Ryas' dad play in the Hmong volleyball community, and they're like legends in their own rights. And Cadence, you said your dad could ball as well too. So just so very proud of what you guys accomplished so far. So with this, I'm gonna ask you something. If there was a kid who's like trying to play ball right now, and they're kind of like on the fence and they don't really want to join, and they're Hmong and they don't really want to join, and you guys are already experiencing this, what would you say to them? Like, what would be your advice to them, to like a Hmong kid trying to play basketball or football or whatever? What would you guys say to them? Cadence, what would you say to someone, a Hmong kid who's trying to make it in sports? What would you say to them to keep them motivated?
I'd say to always have faith in yourself and work hard, because if you really love something, you got to go and get it. Also to like never give up and always give 110%.
Man, that's a great mentality at that age. Thank you. Caleb, what would you say to, a kid who's trying to play ball as well too?
I would tell them like that they should go out for it and encourage them, but just tell them that it's going to be a hard road. Like you're going to have to put in a lot if you want a lot out of it. If you're trying to get there, you're going to have to just put everything into it.
What about you, Ryas? I know you're at the college level right now, and what would you say to Caleb and Cadence right now? Because you're already at that level. You made it past that one hurdle. What would you say to Cadence and Caleb? And they already got a lot of the stuff down, but what would you say for kids or students like that?
Yeah. Honestly, like there's a path for everybody. You could carve out your own path and it's not just about your destiny or your environment or what you came from. It's more about like what you put in, and that's how much you'll get back. And I think that what I would tell like younger kids too is that like, you know, don't be afraid, don't be discouraged because you're not the best at it. Like everybody starts from somewhere, so you don't have to be the naturally best at the sport or whatever you're doing, but just go out and give it your all. Like personally, I have a lot of cousins who wanted to play sports too, but they like a lot of them were discouraged or scared to try out or just didn't want to play because they were like they just didn't want to experience the risk of failing in something. So I think that's a big part of it too.
That's a great point right there. I think a lot of the times the kids, they are scared to fail. Like if you go for a tryout and you see all these people like dunking and stuff like that, you're like, man, why am I even here, man? You know what I mean? Like, shoot, because there's always people better than you. But it is kind of like what you said, like all you have to do is be the best you. You don't have to be like that person. As long as you're the best version of yourself, you don't compare yourself to anybody else, you're doing your best, man, you're going to be all good. You know? Great perspective, man. Let's go with the next question right here, man. So obviously you guys are star athletes, bright career. I know that you guys are we're gonna be looking out for you guys. I know Cadence is balling out right now. Ryas is already in college. Kaleb is gonna be balling out as well too. But let's switch gear a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about a career path, right? What looking ahead to college, what are some majors that you guys are pursuing? Like, let's take it outside the court, outside the line. What are you guys doing academically and career-wise? What are some of your goals? Let's start with Cadence.
So I actually want to go to school for sports medicine and become an athletic trainer. Since I really like being with athletes and being around athletes, I want to be able to help them out as well.
Okay. What about you, Ryas? What's your
currently I'm majoring in nursing. So obviously I want to become a nurse, but I also might want to also look into physical therapy because I like working with athletes who have dealt with the loss of having their sport taken away from them and trying to build it back up to get to where they were. So I think both of those are what I'm looking into.
Okay. What about you, Kaleb?
I'm either looking for aerospace engineering or biochemistry. Or I want to go into biochemistry to pursue like dentistry.
Okay.
And then aerospace, just like for me, is like really interesting. Like, and it looks really. I think I'd have a good time like working on machines and jet engines and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's pretty. I don't even know what you just said right there, Kaleb, man. Hey, man, go for it. I'm just kidding, man. But man, you guys got lofty goals, you know. What? Let me ask you guys this: being so young, how are you guys able to like have all these goals set up already? Is it sports related that your parents have taught you? Like, okay, you got to set goals, got to do this. Is like, how are you guys so like organized with your goals already? What is that process like? Because I remember when I was your age, I was just kind of trying to find myself, and you guys are already like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to pursue, this is where I'm going, and this is what I need to do. Talk about that process, Keller. Could you shine a little light on that?
Yeah, well, I think it's really like the schools nowadays, like they're more like pushing kids to go to college to like they really help you with like career choosing careers. I remember we have like sophomore year in homeroom, we'd always do something with career path, like choosing your careers, finding what you like, and what to major in college. Like schools nowadays have really like helped you with that to like choose so you can be something greater later on.
What are you, Cadence?
I think it's just about like looking in the future. Like what do you want to do when you're older? What do you want your life to look like when you're older?
Wow. What about you, Ryas? I mean, that's a great perspective. I know your answer is so short, Cadence, but it is. It's like look in the future. When I was your age, I was just looking like for tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I got to get through tomorrow. I got to cram for this test, get through this. But you're like actually working like 10 steps ahead. So that's part of the secret as well too. Look at the long run. What about you, Ryas?
Yeah, growing up Hmong and not having the most money, I would say that seeing like you fit a lot of people in the household, and growing up in that environment, like you kind of want the best for your family. So I think I kind of chose a career path to where I could achieve giving back to my family while also doing what I want to do, which is help people, help athletes. And that kind of drives me to just keep going, And I think that also for sure my mom, like, she helped me decide on nursing or nurse practitioner or physical therapist. So she kind of helped me and talked to me about like the different options and weighing it out.
I am just amazed by how much you guys have to juggle, like from basketball to practice to the academics. How have you guys been able to balance all that? Do you guys even realize that you're doing this, or is it just like it's just something I got to do? I don't even think about it. Kaleb, can you speak a little bit about that? How you're able to juggle your life, sports, academics, social media is now a thing as well too. How are you able to juggle all of this and remain, the way you are?
Well, in the beginning, because it was like in the beginning, it's just introduced. So yeah, it's hard to get used to. But once you do it for so long, then it's just daily life for you. Like, then it's just the norm. That's the new norm. Just waking up, going to practice. Then you got to come home, do your school stuff. And for social media, I'm not really like on social media that much. So.
Okay. So you don't follow CrossCourt? You better get on it, boy.
I do that, but
I'm just joking. But Cadence, how are you able to balance all of this?
I agree with what Kaleb said. It just becomes like normal to you. Like, say one day you just miss out on a step, it just doesn't feel right because you're just not used to it anymore. So it just becomes a normal schedule to you.
Okay, so you're saying if you don't go to practice, it actually feels wrong. You're like, okay, what? This don't feel right because it's not part of your routine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Ryas? How are you able to balance all this stuff, especially now that you're in college, where your parents are not there to tell you every day? Now you're on your own now. So how are you balancing all this?
Yeah, for sure. It's a little harder when you're on your own, but I would say that makes you a better person too, because it all really depends on you yourself. Like, even no one's gonna tell you to go do extra workouts or do your homework, but if you really want to succeed, you just have to. And I agree with what both of them said, to where you kind of just build a routine and you stick with that routine like throughout whatever you're doing. But I'm also a big advocate on rest days for sure. Like having a day to where you take the day off, or you don't work out, or you don't do any homework, and you just hang out, do hobbies that you enjoy. I think that's a big factor in like wanting to go back to the process or the grind.
Well, that leads to the next question right here. What are some of the things that you guys do to relax? What are some of the hobbies that you guys do? I know that as an athlete, I think the physical stuff is not so much a problem, but it's mentally draining. It's just like, you go through a lot of stuff. What are some of the hobbies? What are some of the stuff that you guys do to relax? Can we start with Cadence? What are you into?
Really, I just like to spend time with my family. Like on my free days, I just like to hang out with family. We like to go on walks and watch movies together and just enjoy each other's company.
Okay. What about you, Ryas?
Yeah, for me, I'm a big believer in like music will soothe your soul. Like put on some music, relax, stretch a little bit. But when I'm doing something with family or friends, I like to just enjoy their company, catch up, for sure. And just like talk to each other. Like we don't get to talk to each other a lot, especially in this day and age. So for sure, I like to do that.
For sure. What about you, Caleb? What do you do on your leisure time to get your mind off of things?
I like to game with like my friends and just hang out with them, like not having to stress about anything, just having fun on like the PS4.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Just take your mind off of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the questions right here, and then we'll come back to Summer. Then we're gonna wrap it up once we get back here. Okay. Let's see what everyone's saying right here. Let's see. How does the Hmong culture impacted your experience as an athlete? So how has the Hmong culture impacted your experience as an athlete? I know that in the Hmong culture, maybe the older folks, I wouldn't say they look down upon athletics, but they're just not as open to it. Do you guys feel like you guys get bogged down by that sometimes? I know that you guys have pretty supportive parents, but you guys are probably friends with Hmong kids who may not have the same opportunity as you. Can you speak a little bit on that, Caleb?
Yeah, well, that's like even all the more reason like to try to change like the Hmong culture. Like say like academics is a way for better life, but athletics is just as like versatile. You can do it with athletics too if you put time into it and take it seriously.
Sure. What about you, Cadence?
I agree that it's just as serious as academics. Like you put all your time and you put your life into it. So it's just as important as it is as academics.
Sure. What about you, Ryas?
Yeah, hearing stories about like my dad tells me about his parents not wanting him to play sports, or him and his brothers, I mean, not wanting them to play sports. It just makes me more like thankful and grateful that I'm able to play sports and have a supportive background.
Would you guys like to see that change a little bit? I mean, would you guys like do something to make? What would you do to have that change a little bit? You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure you guys are very lucky to have this opportunity to have parents who support you guys, who are willing to, financially back you guys to go to all these tournaments, AAU and stuff. What would you guys do for the kids who don't have these opportunities? I know that you're friends with Hmong kids and they don't have the opportunities you. What would you do? Go with Ryas?
Yeah. Like you said, not a lot of kids have this opportunity. So personally, I've been thinking about me and my dad have been thinking about like doing clinics or tournaments or just a camp for Hmong kids who don't have the privilege of traveling every other weekend or playing AAU or even making their high school team. We just want to do something that's fun and teaches them about not only the sport, but about life too.
What about you, Caleb?
Yeah, I agree with Ryas. Like, you really got to just expose them to it so they can like get that feeling of like, yo, this is fun. Like, even though they may not be able to play it, maybe like once they're older, they'll let their kids do it and have that opportunity.
Yeah. What about you, Cadence?
I agree with both of them. I just encourage them to never give up on what they want to do. And
all right, we have a question here. It says, what does it mean to be a Hmong athlete? We touched base on that. What was your goal? What's your goal for the game, college or pro? Okay, let's touch base on this. What's your ultimate goal for basketball? That both Cadence and Ryas, you guys play basketball. Caleb, he plays both sports. What's the ultimate goal? Is it to if you can't go pro, are you gonna go overseas? Is it just college ball? What's the ultimate goal with athletics? Let's start with Ryas, since you were in college already. What's your goal?
You know, when I was younger, elementary, middle school, my dream was to, I'm gonna make the NBA. I'm gonna be the next Asian who makes it to the NBA. But when you grow up and you realize you're not as naturally gifted as others, you just want basketball to take you as far as it could take you. And I've been blessed and lucky enough to for it to take me to the college level, and hopefully like I'll see where it goes after college. But I'm not saying I wouldn't be satisfied if I didn't play pro though. I would be for sure satisfied and happy.
Right, man. That's a great perspective. I mean, basketball is like a tool, right, to use wherever you want to get in life. It's not end all to end all. You know what I mean? That's a great perspective, man. Cadence, what's your ultimate goal for the game?
Yeah, growing up as well, I've always wanted to go pro and everything, but as of right now, I do want to play for college and then hopefully be able to play overseas and everything. But if that doesn't work out, I'm fine with just being able to play college and just be a sports trainer and help out trainers. Help out athletes.
So you're a junior now, right? Are you starting to get offers and scouts coming to talk to you? Any of that stuff?
Yeah, I've been talking to some, and I've been here and there, but we'll see where that takes me.
Okay. What about you, Caleb? What's the ultimate goal with the game?
The ultimate goal for both sports is just like to have another like career opportunity, like other than school. Because like if I pursue sports and I go overseas to go pro, then that's like another thing. Even if I don't do that, then I have school obviously for a career. Yeah. So it's just like another opportunity to do something other than school, to do what I love to do.
Yeah, and I see that all three of you are using sports as like a guide to your life. It's kind of like you're transferring this sports ethic, like these work ethic discipline over onto your life as well too. And I think from what I understand, you guys are model students and you guys use the same approach in the classroom as well. So I mean, it transferred over. So let's go with a couple of these questions right here. Who had the biggest impact on your game other than your parents? Caleb?
Biggest impact would probably be my teammates then. Just push me to be better and needing, like, being competitive and needing to beat them in whatever sport it'd be.
What about you, Candace? Who impacted your game besides your parents?
I would definitely be my coaches and teammates. They push me every day and they encourage me to get better. When I'm down, they bring me back up.
Okay. What about you, Ryas?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to Clovis West, which had a great program of not only like a really good head coach, but a variety of assistant coaches who would always open up the gym like whenever you wanted, or like would ask you to do extra workouts or would teach you things that you wouldn't get on your own time. So I was lucky to have that.
Okay. Then let's go with this. Candace, it says, Candace, do you keep up and watch the WNBA? Do you keep up with that?
Yeah, I do here and there a lot, but I like watching both the NBA and WNBA.
Okay. And I'm guessing Bucks are your team, right?
Yeah, the Bucks.
Okay, for sure. See, you're young enough where I'm old enough where like I witnessed the Bucks, like they were horrendous, like for years and years and years. Like you're at the age where you kind of grew up with Giannis. So you kind of saw Giannis develop, and it was just like for a long time it wasn't like that. The Bucks were hopeless. But so lucky to have Giannis. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. What's the best player? Who is the best player that you ever played against or with? So can you guys give a shout out to your teammate or an opponent or, a player that you may not know, but describe the game? Caleb, who's the best player you ever played against besides your dad, bro?
No, he is not the best player I've played against, dude. But man, there's a lot. Like I played against a lot of great players. Like it's hard to pick. Like a bunch of D1 players I've played with and against. So probably like the one I know is probably my friend Max from Appleton North. He's like 6'8". He's like going D1 for basketball.
Where's he going? Badgers, Wisconsin?
Oh, he's going to like Valparaiso.
Oh wow, I think that's in Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, the beast. Okay. What about you, Candace? Who's the best player you ever play against or with?
It's actually one of my friends. Her name's Kamora Arnold. She goes to
Okay.
Jefferson High School. She is D1. She's has a lot of offers from D1, but she's just a really good player overall.
Okay.
I like being able to compete against her.
Okay. You say she's a teammate?
No, I just played against her a couple times, and
Oh,
I just
okay.
know her off of basketball.
Okay. All right. What about you, Ryas?
I played against a lot of good players who went to the college level, but shout out my guy Cole, man. That's the best
Okay.
player I've ever played with. He could
Okay.
shoot from anywhere on the court. Shout out Cole. If I
Okay.
needed an assist, I'd pass him the ball.
So if you're like, so if you have like 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists, you need that one more assist for a triple double, you'll give it to them.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I'd run back on defense when he shoots.
All right. Cool, man. Dude, it's good to have those sharpshooters, man. They make you look good. Before I ask this question, man, shoes wise, what are you guys rocking with, man? When you guys are balling, what are you rocking with? Caleb, what are you rocking with?
Rocking with the Dames. Like I forgot which ones they were, but I got new Dames that are pretty nice.
Okay. He's Adidas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those are nice. It's pretty light too, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. What about you, Cadence? What are you rocking with on the court?
I tried a lot of shoes, but I'm rocking with Kyrie's.
The Kyries.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've tried
All the
Giannis.
Kyries.
Yeah, I'm fine with all of them. I mean, I've tried Giannis's and
Okay.
LeBron's and Curry's and Harden's, and none of them really felt right except for Kyrie's.
Okay. Okay. Kyries are like low tops, right?
There's like
like
low
mid-top
and mid.
or-
Yeah,
Mid,
the most
yeah.
mid.
Okay. Okay. I like Kyries too. They look nice. What about you, Ryas? What are you rocking with, man, on the court?
You know, in high school I was a Nike guy, but since I'm at Adidas school now, I've been rocking the Dames, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try some Hardens out, see how they feel. But
Okay.
when I did wear Nike, when I did wear Nike, I was a Kevin Durant guy, KD's.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
God. The
his
KDs
shoes
look
are
nice.
so comfy.
Yeah. So wait, when in college, do they buy your shoes for you? Or
Yeah,
do you?
we got a pair of shoes, yeah, team
Oh,
shoes.
okay. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I tried the Hardens. I don't know if there's like the old Harden or whatever. I went to Kohl's one day and I saw a pair of Hardens. Man, I tried it on, man. Like it's like a rock, dude. I can't do anything with it. It doesn't bend or anything.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to the Dames. Like they're comfy, but I
Yeah.
feel like they're kind of heavier, and Adidas shoes just fit bigger. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Man. All right, cool. So, okay, that leads to the next question, right? How many shoes do you guys go through a season? Just like balling out. Do you guys just stick with the same shoes or do you guys go through a couple pairs? Let's go with Cadence.
Honestly, I'd say maybe 2 max. I don't really go through a lot of pairs throughout the season, but yeah, two is about right.
Okay. What about you, Ryas?
I got a practice shoe that I always probably practice in and just beat that shoe up. But for game times, I'm kind of a superstitious person. Like,
Okay.
I would wear the same shoe as long as we're winning or as long as I'm doing good. Like, I'd wear that same shoe the whole year until we lose, until I play terrible.
Okay. What about you, Caleb?
Well, I usually just wear like my one pair of shoes, like my indoor shoes for basketball and volleyball. But if I play like volleyball or basketball outdoors, then I wear like my outdoor shoes.
Okay. So you're not tracking mud inside the gym, right? Are you?
No, I'm not.
Kids?
Nah, those kids are just like, no.
That's disrespectful. Ain't
That
you see
is,
some
dude.
of the kids walking outside in the snow, especially in the Midwest, right, kids? They track that thing right in the gym. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, that's an unwritten rule. You don't do that. Okay. Let's see. What are your future goals and career paths? We touched base on that already. Let's see. Fusu here say it's a bright future for the Hmong athletes. Love the inspiration here. Keep pushing and be proud. Awesome, man. Everyone's behind you guys, man. They're rooting for all Hmong athletes, and I'm kind of glad we're doing this segment to bring light to student athletes. Way to represent the Hmong community, all three of you. Yes. Yes, from Kayla's mom. Anytime. Okay. Anytime to date. Love life. Y'all got to balance everything out, man. That's Ryas' dad talking that mess. He's trying to get the inside scoop on you, Ryas.
I don't hide nothing.
We're gonna skip over that, man. I think his dad is trying to like get some inside scoop on that. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one right here. What other sports do you guys play? I know for Kayla, he plays multiple sports. Other sports that you guys play besides b-ball, Ryas.
Yeah. So I actually played football, basketball, and volleyball. But then in high school, I decided to just stick with basketball. But then my sophomore year in high school, I decided to play volleyball again. So I played volleyball for 2 years in high school, but this past year I couldn't because of COVID. The seasons were at the same time, so I just stuck with basketball.
Okay, so let me ask you this: are we ever gonna see you on prime time, your dad's team? Are we gonna see that?
That's been a dream of mine forever. So
okay, are you? Will he give you number 23 to wear, or will you embarrass it? Or what's up, man?
I might have to switch it up.
Okay, we like to see that, man. Ryas on prime time. Cadence, is there any other sports that you play besides basketball?
I think I said this before already. Growing up, I played rugby, softball, and all that stuff. But then in middle school, I did track and basketball. And then high school, I do basketball. But then I tried doing soccer my freshman year. But because of COVID, that never happened. But then this year, I'm trying out for track as well again.
Oh, okay. I know tracks really help with just jumping and speed and all that kind of stuff. So that's a good sport as well, too. It helps out your basketball skills for sure. Kaleb, any other sports?
Growing up I played a lot, and then middle school I mostly played like basketball, and I did track, but track started like hurting my shins. I started getting like shin splints, so like I kind of stopped that.
Yeah.
And then high school, my dad just wanted me to try volleyball, see how I would be at it. I was pretty bad like when I first started, so but now that I've worked at it, I'm gotten a lot better. And I've just been playing basketball like just my entire life, like since I can remember.
Yeah, and I've kind of seen your progression, and you've grown from like a little kid just trying to figure everything out to somewhere I see shooting the basket and this guy can't miss. It's like, holy cow, that's just a different level right there. You can see like, if you ever see I don't know if you guys ever see this stuff, but you guys see like an NBA player shoot at like practice, they don't miss at all. I'm like, man, these guys are so good. And you just underestimate how good NBA players are and the different level. Like for Ryas in college, I'm sure he's like way better than just some guy at the Y. I swear, man. Like people think they could just go and ball out, but it's not like that. There's levels to this. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, I think like Brian Scalabrine said it best. He said like to like a guy that tried to challenge him, like, I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me. Like that's like that's like
so
accurate.
True. Yep, that's for sure, man. Because just a guy from the Y and trying to be where Scalabrine is and getting drafted by the NBA. Come on now.
Yeah, and playing like he played like pretty long too.
Right. Let's see here. Ryas plays volleyball too. Hopefully we see Ryas at a J4 tournament rolling with prime time. Linda here says Cadence has one college offer. Well, congratulations, Cadence.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Would you like to share or no?
Sure, where it was from?
Yeah.
It's from Grace Christian University. Grace Christian.
Okay, where is that at? Is that local? Oh, wow. Okay, nice. That's for sure. And Kaleb, you want to talk about your offer or you're good?
It's not really like an offer. It's just like college interest. Just a D3 volleyball school for volleyball. That's it.
Okay. So Kaleb had received some interest as well too. And Ryas is over at Fresno. What is it? Fresno Pacific University, right?
Sir.
Yeah. Representing. Caleb, are you free September 25th to come play with Shane? Okay, you gotta text Shane, Caleb.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with Caleb and Cadence and how mature you guys are and so driven in life. That's coming from Ryas' dad on for sure. I'm really impressed too at how these young folks conduct themselves, for sure. My husband says she is definitely a D1 player. So they're calling you, Candace or Cadence, a D1 player. I seen some of your video. You got to go D1. I swear. Like, you're knockdown. You got that knockdown jumper. That jumper is wet, quick. I mean, shoot. It'll be a shame. See, Sean got the coach here already. Sure. They're just okay. Payne, bring your son and play J4 basketball with my son. Ooh, hey man. So we want to see Ryas and Caleb and Cadence. Go to J4 Minnesota, man. Run this, man.
Make it happen.
Y'all gotta run this, man. So let's wrap it up. We've been here, we're taking up a lot of you guys' time. Let's go with this last question right here, man. Let's go with. All right, let's ask this, and we'll start with Caleb, and then we'll go with Cadence, then we'll wrap it up with Ryas. So, what advice would you give younger kids, especially Hmong kids, that are thinking or on the fence of becoming student athletes? I know we kind of touched base on this before, but can you guys, what would you say to a Hmong kid who wants to be just like you?
I would say that they have to want it bad, because you're gonna go through a lot of hardships, like a lot of ups and downs. But when you're at those downs, you gotta just think about why you're doing this and what you want, and just go up again. And don't stay down for too long.
Sure. No, that's so true. So true. What about you, Cadence?
I would say don't get discouraged, because everybody has their own path, and to work hard, because if you want it, like I said before, you can go get it and you can accomplish your goal.
I like that. Everyone has their own path. What about you, Ryas?
Yeah, I would say to not be afraid of the stigma of Asian people can't hoop. Don't listen to what other people say. Just trust in you and trust in what you work at.
And I know that you're at like the highest level right now in college, and you talk about that stigma. Did you grow up having to fight that stigma a lot?
For sure, yeah. Playing at parks or playing at just open gyms or something, especially at parks, like people you don't know, people you just run with, like they see an Asian guy, they think like, oh, that he can't hoop, or he's not athletic, or he can't do much, but he's just smart, or he's a smart player. Like, oh, that's all he can do. But there's so much more to, so much more that I can do than just have an IQ, I guess.
Yeah. So when you go to this park and they already like have these preconceived stigma on you, what moves do you do that let them know like, oh, man, okay, all right, this boy can ball? What do you usually do?
Yeah. I like to get to the rim a lot. I don't like to settle for a lot of jumpers. I like to get to the rim, play a little physical, let them know I'm there. But I don't talk too. I don't talk any crap, so I might make them a little bit more mad,
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's busting me, and he's not saying a word.
Yeah. I've seen some of your highlights, man. You like playing around the rim. You got a nice touch around the rim. Thank you. And I see that you can finish with contact as well too. You don't mind that body bumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a lot of it has to do with like putting your time in the weight room.
Yeah.
And recently I've learned to train more efficiently than like 2 hours and draining yourself out, Yeah. Because you're not gonna. What I could do for high intensity for like an hour compared to 2 hours where the workout's just drawn out, it's helped me a lot to like build muscle quicker, like just like get more. I'm trying to work on being a better athlete too. So
Yeah.
I think doing high intensity stuff has helped with that too.
I see. And then Cadence, I noticed a lot about your game. You got you're kind of all around. You got a knockdown jumper. You're quick. You can finish around the rim. Obviously, when you play, you're probably the shortest girl on the team all the time, right?
Yeah.
So you always have to compensate. How did you develop that touch around the basket?
Just practicing and being able to finish with contact and be able to finish with someone there.
Yeah.
That's really a big point to get at. Because with being short and everything, it's not as easy as other tall players. They can just get to the rim and finish.
Yeah.
So you can be able to do contact.
Well, when you practice by yourself or you practice, how do you even emulate that? Do you hold a broomstick up and try to finish, or you just imagine in your head and just do it on your own, or what are you doing?
No, usually I'll go with my dad and he'll act like the defender and just hack at me and I'll just try to finish through the rim.
Okay. Because you have a nice touch around the rim too.
Thank
so
you.
What about you, Caleb? I know that when you first started, you could not hit a jumper to save your life. You and Andre Iguodala, man.
But yeah, I had to work at that, and then it got to the point where now I can shoot really good, and then I go to these camps, and then I remember I was shooting so good, I was just hitting everything from really deep too, and then I caught the ball, and this 6'6" black dude, I don't want to use what he said, but he said this has a strap. So step up on him, and then
okay, so that's respect right there. Don't give this dude any space.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't want to use the word he used, but
yeah.
He's
Do you guys find it disrespectful sometimes, Cadence, when a defender's guarding you and they give you that space? Do you feel okay, they're being disrespectful? I'm gonna tell them what's up right now. Do you ever feel that, Cadence?
Yeah, but then I'll just pull it, and then next play, they won't do that no more. They're gonna learn their lesson for sure.
You should have said, "Didn't you guys see my YouTube highlights?" You better know who I am. What about you, Ryas, man? They've been disrespectful to you? I mean, you talk about them being disrespectful. They're oh, let this guy shoot, and then you show them what's up or what?
Yeah, that's happened a lot of times, but I think growing up, since I already graduated, from the time I was a senior, they knew to step up at that point. They knew to guard me out there.
Okay. You better tell them to watch the tape as well, too. I know. Well, man, it's been great chatting with you guys, man. Josh, you got anything to add for these young stars right here?
Not really. I guess, yeah. That wraps it up pretty good. So.
All right, let's see if there's any more comments right here, and then let's see.
Props to all. I was just gonna say, Cadence from the highlights. I feel like you're pretty much the focal point of the offense. How do you deal with that pressure? Everything runs through you. So is it ever
sometimes I feel like there's a lot of pressure, but at the end of it, you just gotta know what you gotta do, and they're all counting on me and everything. I just gotta pull through, and with their support and everything, it really helps a lot too.
Okay. Ryas, when does the season start for you guys? Start on the regular college season, in November sometime or October?
Yeah, November. You're exactly right. Yeah, November.
Cool. So you guys what are you guys doing as a team right now?
Right now, we're
anything yet?
Yeah, right now they're kind of stricter collegiate level, so we have a certain amount of hours we can work out together, stuff like that. So
gotcha.
Just put in those hours and do stuff on our own too.
Okay. And then Cadence, when does the basketball season start for West Bend?
We have some scrimmages in November. So we start around November.
Okay.
But we have open gyms here and there. Okay. But our official season starts in November.
Okay. Are they limiting people to come and see the games right now, or is it kind of like a free?
I think last year it was two per kid, but I'm not sure how they're gonna do it this year.
Okay. I would like to come and see a couple of your games since we're near. What about you, Caleb? When does volleyball and basketball and everything start for you guys?
Volleyball started a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Basketball, we have open gyms and workouts. So but it starts in November, same as Cadence's.
Okay. And then I believe, Cadence, you're gonna do track. That's more like the spring stuff, right? Like in the April.
Yeah, I think
during
it'll help with
springtime.
conditioning.
Yeah. Okay. And then Caleb, those are the only two sports you're gonna play this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Which plenty of it keeps you really busy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what everyone has to say here, and then we'll wrap it up. Maya says, props to all you younger athletes. Keep on paving the way. We are all here to support you all. Never give up. For sure. I know that a lot of the times the athletes, you guys go through a lot of trials and tribulations as well too. And I think the mental health thing is so big. Do you guys have, I know, maybe I'm not sure about high school, but Ryas, at the college level, do you guys have like people to help you guys with like the mental health and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. There's a free like therapist,
Mhm.
and we get a lot of free access to people who are just willing to help us. Like we could get tutors, we could get people to plan out our schedule for like classwork and stuff. Like they could plan out when we do homework. They could look at our schedule and plan out the whole week of when we do homework. And there's
Okay.
just a bunch of stuff like that that helps with our mental health.
Okay, so there's big time support there.
For
All
sure,
right.
yeah.
All right. What about you, Cadence? How is it at West Bend when you ever get bogged down or just a lot of pressure? Is there support over there?
Yeah, we have school counselors that help with, say you need like classes, just help with mental health in general. But
Okay.
that's all we really have.
Okay. What about you, Caleb? How's the school with supporting mental health out there?
Yeah, well, yeah, we have our counselors and all that, and then our weightlifting coach has also said like if we're just not feeling it that day, then he'll give us like a different set of workouts to go through, like mentally stuff.
For sure, man. I know, it all starts with your mental health. If you're feeling bogged down or stuff like that, man, just make sure there's support there. You guys are always getting that, man. So, well, I think this is it. We want to thank all of our panel right here. Caleb, good luck to you in your future with high school volleyball and basketball. Look forward to seeing you progress. Cadence, thank you for appearing on CrossCourt Conversation. Good luck to you and your quest as well too. Ryas, congratulations on making it to the next level, man. As a freshman, it's gonna, as a freshman, right? You have to start it all over again, and then you're probably well aware of that. So good luck on your quest as well too, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming on, sharing your journey. I've learned so much, and I just in awe of how much you guys are juggling and
Special pants.
still being successful in whatever you guys are doing. So you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up, and we look forward to seeing you guys on YouTube or in